Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all keeping safe and well. I know at the end of my last video I said I might wait until early November to do a joint September and October favourites post because during my birthday favourites video I covered all of August and then also some of September as well because of the Paralympics that I really enjoyed watching. So I wasn't quite sure there'd be enough left at the end of September to warrant making another video on, but there was just about enough to get away with making a small post and video about. I had another nice free meal with my friend Emily. It was another place she was reviewing for a journalism role, and then there's a few bits and pieces I've been watching and listening to as well. So I thought I'd come on here and tie up all the loose ends. As always, all opinions are my own, nothing sponsored or gifted to appear here, and there's more detail in the blog post as per usual. But yeah, this is going to be a relatively short video, really, just to get these bits and pieces out of the way and clear the decks ahead of October. So yeah, let's just crack on with it, and I hope you enjoy it. So the meal I went on with my friend Emily was at the Cardinal Bar and Kitchen, which is a new all-day dining establishment in Aldgate, just down the road from Aldgate East and right next door to Aldgate Station, so it's really easy to get to. And we had a lovely time there. Obviously, they were lovely to us, partly because we were there on a PR visit, of course, but they were genuinely very nice. They had a nice vibe, the whole place. And they were very friendly with Emily's guide dog, Rosie, as well. And as we do in restaurants sometimes, we said to them, they could serve us whatever they wanted us to try off their menus. They had quite an extensive menu, so we said, you can pick stuff for us if you want to. So the chef prepared a few plates for us for the different courses. So for the first course, we had bread and burrata cheese with cherry tomatoes, plus a salad that contained avocados, among other things. I'd never had burrata cheese before, but it was fresh and had a nice texture and flavour to it and went well with the bread, so I was happy with that. Then for mains, we had a nice plump piece of roast chicken. I'm very partial to chicken anyway, so I was very likely to enjoy it, and I did in this case. And we had some pan-fried salmon as well, and it was nice. I'm not a huge fan of seafood generally, but it was nice. But yeah, I did prefer the chicken. I am much more of a meat eater, I must admit. And I was accompanied by a side of asparagus fingers too, which were nice as an accompaniment. And then for dessert, we were presented with a sticky toffee pudding with Armagnac ice cream and a big slice of Earl Grey infused cheesecake. Emily wanted to have the sticky toffee pudding, so I was generous and let her have that, and I had the cheesecake, and it was very nice. So yeah, we were quite pleasantly full up by the end of all that. It was a nice meal. And we also had a couple of cocktails as well. I had a pineapple picante and a dark and stormsy one as well, which had some rum and ginger beer and ginger syrup and stuff like that in it. It came in a really tall glass as well, surprisingly tall. So yeah, it was all very nice, very comfortable atmosphere and everything. And yeah, you can read Emily's review if you want more information about it, as well as my blog post. So I'll link to her review in the description below, as I usually do. And that's the only outing worth quickly mentioning, to be honest. Other than that, I had my hair cut and I've had a couple of leisurely walks, done a bit of shopping and stuff, but nothing that's worth talking about here. So I'll move on to the comedy that I've been enjoying next. And the first person I'll mention is Chris Ramsey, because he's got a new stand-up special out on Sky Comedy called Live from London, filmed at the Royal Court Theatre, and it lasts for an hour, with adverts, of course. And it's very good. He's very good at telling his stories. He's very funny. So he has a great opening routine about falling out with his Amazon Echo device, and then proceeds to tell us in detail about the 3 most embarrassing incidents in his life so far, one of which involves his log burner at home and Les Mis at the theatre. There is a connection there. And then his eldest son embarrassing him with the changing stalls at a swimming pool, and finally going on Strictly Come Dancing. And they're all kind of embarrassing for reasons that you don't necessarily expect, but he's very good at leading up to the big moments, as it were. And there's lots of funny general observations mixed in as well. So yeah, it's a good set altogether. I enjoyed that. And then talking to Strictly Come Dancing and comedians called Chris for that matter, it's well worth mentioning that Chris McCausland is on Strictly Come Dancing this series as their first ever blind contestant, so it's great to have some more disability representation on that show. I'm not a fan of Strictly personally, I don't watch it, but I have been watching a few clips of Chris in action just out of curiosity, because I do like him as a comedian. I've seen him live, he's very funny. And yeah, he's been doing very well, even though he's never danced before and was quite nervous about going on the show. He has been working hard on it, his routines are very good. His dance partner, Diane Buswell, has clearly been training him very well. She's adapted to his needs. They have a very good rapport together, judging by their social media posts that they've been doing, and the audience love him. He's gone down a storm on social media. He's clearly gained some new fans. So yeah, fair play to him. Well done. I hope he stays in the series for a while. And he's been having success elsewhere too. He's got a chat show on ITV, which again I haven't been watching because the guests haven't particularly interested me. I don't watch that kind of stuff. And he's been in other bits and pieces too. So yeah, his career is very much on a high at the moment, as it deserves to be. So well done to him. And then the other comedian to mention is Ross Noble, who I've talked about a few times this year already because I saw him live in March and thoroughly enjoyed it. And then I reviewed his DVDs in May and June, which are packed with multiple shows and all sorts of extra features and things like that. Because every single show he does is different. It's always improvised, and he just reacts to whatever's in his head or things in the audience or whatever he's seen. Anything can come up. He goes off on all sorts of tangents, and he's just brilliant in the way his mind works. The surreal nature of the things he comes out with is just brilliant. He's very, very funny. So I've I've written one final post about him. Having done his DVDs, I've now reviewed his online stand-up shows and some other things like comedy horror stuff he's done and radio shows and documentaries, that kind of thing. So it's just wrapping up loose ends with him. It's been great going through his stuff, exploring a lot of things that I hadn't known about, as well as things that I hadn't seen for a while. So yeah, it's been great kind of digging through it all, and I've put a playlist together here on YouTube too. So yeah, I've enjoyed going through Ross's stuff this year, but I've finally done everything I want to do now. I can move on to other things. And then I am, of course, delighted that Taskmaster is back for its 18th series already. The contestants I know best and have the most interest in this time are Jack Dee and Rosie Jones. They're both great in this series, very different personalities, which makes it great when they're put together for the team tasks. Rosie Jones is obviously getting some ableist abuse online, predictably and very sadly, but she's actually very good here. She's very creative and has a lot of fun with it. Jack Dee is very creative as well. They've both been very good, as have all the other contestants. Emma Siddy is someone who I'd never heard of before. As it turned out, she's actually been involved in one of Ross Noble's shows that I was reviewing in that post as well. But I hadn't heard of her before, and she's very good. She's grown on me very quickly. Andy Zaltzman and Babatunde Aleshe I was aware of, but I've not been interested in anything else they've done. But again, they're very good here. As always with this series, it's a nice mixture of different characters and styles and everything, and it's great to see them all doing the tasks in very different ways. So yeah, it's good fun as always. I'm looking forward to the rest of the series. And finally, there are a few factual bits to mention as well. And I have my friend Claire to thank for all of these, because she recommended a couple of documentaries to me on BBC iPlayer and also very kindly bought me an audiobook for my birthday. So thank you to Claire for all of these. These have all been great. So in terms of the documentaries, the first one to mention is Hidden Treasures of the National Trust, which is a lovely look behind the scenes at many of their properties and gardens over the 12 episodes. There's so much work that goes into cleaning and maintaining and researching and restoring things and transporting them to other places and so on and so forth. So we got to see many of their paintings and sculptures and furniture and artifacts and various other bits and pieces, and get to understand a lot of the kind of intricate details that they have to consider and work on when dealing with these things. It's a lot of work and a lot of concentration and a lot of expertise, and it's really impressive what they do. And some of these places were used by very famous people such as Rudyard Kipling, Winston Churchill and Benjamin Disraeli. But my favourite episode personally, because I'm a Beatles fan, was the one featuring the childhood home of Paul McCartney, where they recreated some iconic wallpaper from one of the photos. That took a lot of careful research, and restored his parents' bedroom, which was quite emotional. And they even tried to uncover some graffiti in the toilet that had been scribbled on the walls in there. So yeah, it's a very interesting series, a great variety of different things going on in there. So there's something for everyone, I think. It's a great look at history of different places, and yeah, it's just really fascinating. And then the other documentary I saw was about the Eiffel Tower, which seemed appropriate after the Paris Olympics and Paralympics recently. So this was called Eiffel Tower Building the Impossible, and was all about Gustav Eiffel's mission to build what was then going to be the tallest building in the world at the time. And, as well as actual photos and footage of the tower, they also used computer animation to illustrate the story, which helped to bring it to life, put things into context, that kind of thing. And the audio description helpfully read out the English subtitles when French people were speaking, which was really helpful, because I wouldn't have been able to follow half of the documentary otherwise. But yeah, it was really interesting to learn about the design and construction process, because I never knew how it was built before. I'd never looked into it, never been there. So it was really interesting to learn about it and the problems they faced along the way, how it was saved from destruction, how it's kind of been modernised in the recent decades with lighting and stuff like that. And also to learn more about some of the other structures that Gustav Eiffel had built, and how he got caught up in the Panama Canal scandal as well, which was quite surprising. So yeah, it was a good documentary, a good hour-long documentary about all of that. And then the audiobook that Claire very kindly bought me was People Hacker, which is written and narrated by Jenny Radcliffe from Liverpool. And she is a social engineer or an ethical con artist or a burglar for hire, whatever you want to call her. But she uses her skills to educate organisations and individuals about the flaws in their security, because for all the passwords and alarms and ID cards and CCTV cameras and stuff like that we might have, some companies spend millions on security measures. Jenny can still get into these places quite easily, because the weak element in the chain is always the people. And so she researches people very carefully beforehand, and she monitors people. She does surveillance on places to see what the routines are and things like that. So she knows who to approach and how to approach them and when to approach them, where to approach them, and how to get what she wants. Where can she get into buildings quite easily without even talking to anybody, when a thing's left open that she can just take advantage of, and all sorts of things like that. So it's really, really interesting. It exposes some of the tricks that criminals use, because she uses the same tricks but for positive effect. She educates organisations who are often quite shocked at how easily she was able to do things. So yeah, it does make you learn about the kind of tricks that criminals use. And yeah, there's some very tense moments in there as well, because her job is filled with genuine danger sometimes. There's a story in there about her falling off a roof and getting trapped by a car and various other things. It's really quite fascinating, sometimes quite tense, sometimes quite humorous as well. She's got a good sense of humour and a great personality in general. So yeah, I can highly recommend it. It's surprisingly interesting and insightful, and does kind of make you think twice about security and the things you kind of have to be careful of, and makes you realise that humans are vulnerable in many ways. So yeah, it gives you a lot of food for thought and a lot of entertainment, and it's really interesting. So thank you to Claire for that. I did really enjoy that. It's really interesting. And yes, talking of books, I know that Richard Osman has got a new book out as well called We Solve Murders, which is a new series alongside his Thursday Murder Club series, which he is doing another book for, and there's a filming production for that as well. I haven't bought his new book because I'm still behind on the Thursday Murder Club, to be honest. I haven't listened to the last book yet because I've just been busy with other things. It's just kind of fallen by the wayside. So when the film comes out, maybe I'll go back and kind of revisit the books from the start and review them and stuff. I'm not in any rush to kind of get into them. I will do, because they're great books. But yeah, if you're wondering why I haven't mentioned his new book or Thursday Murder Club for a while, I've just fallen behind with it because I don't listen to audiobooks very often. But I will get back to them eventually at some point. And that is it. That is all I have to mention for this short video. So I hope you enjoyed that and found bits and pieces of interest in there as per usual. As I say, I'm sorry it's not been very long this time, but I already spoke about the Paralympics in my previous post. So go and look at my birthday favourites if you want to find out what I enjoyed about the games. I still have very fond memories of watching those. They were great fun. As for October, there's nothing special I've got booked at the moment. There's one or two things I've got in mind that I might want to do, and there's things that I want to watch this month. But other than that, the diary is pretty clear, so I can be flexible. There will be things to mention next month, one way or another anyway. The only other thing I will mention is the Anna Ridia Network. If you have Anna Ridia, then you might be interested in subscribing to the Anna Ridia Network YouTube channel and to the blog as well, annaridia.org.uk, because I've been editing and transcribing all the presentations from the online conference they had earlier in the year. So I'm going to be publishing those gradually over the next few weeks on their YouTube channel and the blog. So, if you want to hear about all that kind of thing, there are some quite interesting talks in there. So do go and check those out. But yeah, that is it. That's the only other thing I have to mention, really. So yeah, I hope you have a good October, whatever you get up to. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. That is all I have to say for now. So yeah, have fun, whatever you get up to. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe as per usual. And I will see you for another video very soon. Bye for now.